here we go. Good evening, everyone. Sorry, just quit getting a couple other people notified. My videos. All right. So here we go. Hello, Internet Land. I'm Big D, the GameCraft Dragon, and I'm alone today. Lady Dragon may be here later. She is working this evening, and unfortunately, she's in a little bit of pain. So, depending how rough it is at her work day, she may just eat dinner and go straight to bed. So you may just have to look at my smiling all evening. I do apologize. But oh well, I'm me, and you're here. So, lot of stuff to talk about. Been a busy week, been a busy weekend. Lots and lots and lots of stuff going on. We saw the new Indominus box drop. We've had a week now or it all just went live. It was on pre-order. It went live on Saturday, delivery of Machine War. We've got War of the Spider is now all in pre-order. Loads of new figures getting spoiled and shown off and touted, and yeah, it's a busy time. It's like the world is coming to life again, and everyone's trying to make it happen. Hello and good evening, Commodore. Welcome to the Phalanx. Everyone keep your heads down and don't be naughty. I'll have no naughtiness on my stream. So let's just start with the basics. What's on the bench? Well, if you're watching my Instagram lately, I just did a real quick and dirty. I still got to do some highlighting on it, but I have a D game that's this weekend, and I wanted to do a custom figure for my character. So I'm quick knocking out a female orc barbarian that will be fighting with a polearm. Using some figure pieces from the Artisans Guild that I printed. Such a wonderful service, $10 a month, and you get about 10 figures a month. Plus, their starting box gives you a whole bunch of other stuff. If you're a 3D printer, this is not a paid announcement. This is not a compensated announcement. I just really, truly believe in the stuff they offer. Artisans Guild is really, really good stuff. And if you want some of their past My Mini Factory, and they have all their stuff. They actually have a sale going on right now for 40% off on a bunch of their different sets. So totally look into them if you're looking to print your own. If you print your own minis, they're pretty cool. Really cool for D&D. Setting up your own adventures. You can use a few for a couple of proxies here and there. Actually, the weird girl that we sent Freak is out of the same set that this character is out. So that's pretty cool. So what else is going on? What else do we have on the bench? Well, I had that one. I am working on finishing off my Stormcast. I have finished 10, 11, 12, 13 of them. I have 6 left to go. 5 of the hammer and shield guys, and I have an HQ unit. And then I am finally done with all of my Stormcast. I've finished a unit of 5 of the really big hammer guys, and I finished off a group of the Sequitors with the single big hammer. And I finished off a mage and another HQ, and the actual leader of the army. So, yeah, I have very little left to do with them, and I'll finally be done with all of my Stormcast. Oh my goodness. 200 aircraft research books today. If you've got any that are specifically on the Super Fortress, Al, I would like to see that one. I really want to get some better color pictures of the Enola Gay, so I can start working out the paint scheme for it. And if it's just a plain aluminum sided one, I'm kind of disappointed by that. But if it is what it is, I want to make it look as historical as possible. So there is that. Let's see what else is going on. What else do I have on the bench? Stormcast, my arc. Working on my last two bikes. These are my two biker captains for my Custodes unit. I have two biker captains left to go, and a Telemon Dreadnought. And then I will be done, I think, with my Custodes, at least for now. I may actually no. I have a. It's sitting over there drying. I have a Relic Contemptor that I've also Relic Contemptor Dreadnought that I've got for them. Good evening, Phoenix. Yeah, we just I made dinner. We're having breakfast tacos. So eggs, cheese, bacon, kind of like a burrito, but no extra stuff. Just cheese, eggs, and meat. I'm all good with it. I'll bring you a thumb drive next time I come down, which hopefully will be real soon. We need to meet up again soon. So, because I want to actually bring those two airbrushes. When we don't have other people there vying for attention. Sriracha Ranch Shrimp Tacos tonight. I like your style. And of course, being Tuesday, it must be Taco Tuesday. The Emperor commands it. Actually, I'm part of the Dornish heresy, so it is Taco Tuesday instead of Taco Friday. I don't understand Taco Friday. It's just foreign to me. Commodore, that's the one way I truly support your fists in that Dorn's heresy on Taco Tuesday. So I mean, that's what I got on the bench. I'm also working on wolves. I want to finish these guys off. I want to finish off these Stormcast first, and then get through these last couple Custodes and get them done before the end of the month. And then I want to go diving elbow deep into my wolves. For 9th, I was thinking about lots of good stuff there. I was thinking about deep diving into another a codex compliant. We'll talk about it. Text to speech. There's a whole Dornish heresy because of Taco Tuesday. It's an in joke with text to speech. If the Emperor had a text to speech device, Dorn's one of the main characters. Anyhow, I want to get through all of these because I was going to do a codex compliant chapter for 9th edition. I was actually going to do my I was looking at doing, but I hadn't decided on the name. I'm still dealing with either calling them the Ebon Dragons or the Iron Dragons or the Eternal Dragons. I had all these different ideas of what I was going to do with them, and I kind of realized they're cool. It's a cool concept, but I really love my wolves, and I think it really comes down to the fact that I really love the wolves, and there's really no way of walking away from that. I love my wolves, and they are what drew me into 40K, and they were keeps bringing me back to 40K. So rather than trying to do something different and trying to line up something else, I'm just going to double down on my wolves. So I found a couple of boxes of the old, would be what everyone else would consider the tactical Marines. They just call them wolf packs when they're specially set up for the Space Wolves. I found 2 boxes of them, and I put them all together, and I've got them assembled. I'm just getting some shoulders put together for them. But they're going to be a couple more packs of Gray Hunters. I've also got a custom wolf. I'm putting together a new Rune Priest. I've got a lovely Wolf Priest given to me by the Commodore. Thank you so much. There was a game day Wolf Priest, I want to say 2005 or 2007, but it was about 10 years ago or so. And he found one and gifted it to me for my birthday, and it's so awesome. So I had already built it up and painted that, and I'm like, yeah, that's going to be a big anchor in my army. And I'm fairly certain when the Indomitus box drops, should I win it from the Lady Dragon, I'm going to be converting the two chaplains, the chaplain-ish characters in there, to the wolf equivalent of them. The guy that's just walking up with a big sword on one shoulder, I can't wait to hang a bunch of wolf tails off of him and do him up in wolf colors and just have him come to bring the heat and end some unbelievers in Russ and the Allfather. So I'm looking forward to that. Can you let them know that I'm live, please? Please keep it down. So I just realized I'm going to double down on my wolves. I got a bunch of wolves I got to do. I've got a box of them ready to go. They're going to get primed and they're going to get done. And are you feeling better? Are you going to actually sit down with me here? All right. So then, Plague Child, go get your mother a pair of egg tacos, please. And
we're a little bit sooner, but
we are going to shift the camera.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, a Wolficutioner. That's exactly what that dude's going to be. A Wolficutioner.
Yeah, we almost watched a dog attack a woman on the way home.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, I came running out on the Sherman. She was standing in a medium. Yeah, so I almost had fun.
Yeah. So anyhow, so that's basically what I have on the bench. That's literally all I've gotten through. Been just kind of talking. Kind of a slow start because there wasn't anybody here. So you came in just in time. What do you got on the bench?
So far on the bench, I still have what I have had. Oh, I have glue on me from work. Excuse me. Finished up my Grim Hauler. So finished that one up. He still needs to be sealed, but he's been completed. So yay! That puts me at 47 figures for the year. And right now I am working on 2 other figures. You guys have probably seen her. I'm still working on my Amazonists. And I am working on my Gothed Out Druid.
You want to get her a plate for those?
And I've also got some Cornates over here. I've got some topless dancing women and a mostly that's going to look like mahogany when I'm done. So
excellent.
But that's about all I've got on the bench. Other than that, I've been working on a I must ruin the eggs. I've been working on coloring in something on the computer for our dear brother, Hellchild, who's commissioned a very large image from me. I'll probably end up doing a small like thumbnail and throwing it up on my Instagram probably tonight. And that's that. And working a lot, working. But that's it for me.
All right.
Compared to him, I'm boring.
No, just even working. I haven't been, so I've been able to get things done.
So I'm going to give a quick hello to the 4 people that are in chat right now. To the Commodore, hello. To my lovely Phoenix, mwah. To my dearest brother-in-law, hello, Al. And I see we have someone named Damien.
Damien12.
Damien12. Hello and welcome. I am Lady Dragon. So that's it for me. What are we? Wow.
What?
I can have some eggs with my tortilla.
There's a bunch of I may look at dozen eggs. There's actually a lot of eggs in there. There's also a lot of cheese in there too.
That's all I've got.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
So, next up on today's list.
Well, we were talking about Indomitus. They did the Indomitus box reveal. That was that this weekend? That was this weekend. My days. Ooh. They kind of blend together.
That was 3 days ago.
Yeah, that was Saturday. Yeah, that was Saturday. Because we spent Saturday afternoon. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, Saturday, they did the big reveal for Indomitus. Wow. Now, we've had a live stream since then, and we talked about it a bit, but had some time to let that percolate. And I am hype.
We mostly spent a stream of you hyperventilating over the.
I mean, everything's
melee.
gorgeous. It's not just the melee. It's just that, I mean, they're giving us Primaris wolf claws, pistol and chainsword. They're giving us a bunch of dudes with swords and shields. That's kind of a new thing. They've never had just a unit that was just straight up melee and shields in normal Marines. I mean, I guess in Sternguard, you could have a shield or two in the unit. And I know in Blackwatch you could. But they've never had a full unit that was weapon and shield. That was a normal unit. So this will be interesting to see. Although those guys look like they were in Gravis armor, so they might be the equivalent of Terminators with sword and shield, which would be kind of awesome.
No, that was Gravis armor.
And then they've got the executioner type chaplain, and then they've got the Agri chaplain, and they've got the bikes. The bikes have 4 wounds apiece. We were talking about that. They gave the stats up for them today. The bikes have 4 wounds. So old bikes had 2 wounds. Thunderwolf Cavalry had 3. So they've got 4. That's
whoa. What's this?
Oh, that was something I printed out and made for you. Yes, it's a D&D scale, so you can remember that sometimes you have to paint things that are small.
Well, no problem with that. I've got lots of small things to paint.
Not with lots of detail. Not like that. She's crazy. Well, you got that now, too. If you don't want it, I'll take it back. See, shut up then.
You printed it for yourself because you wanted to see.
No, I was printing another figure and I wanted to throw something on there for you, so I threw that on there because I knew you liked her. Because I printed her.
I made those. Oh yeah, that's right. You were doing her.
Yeah, the D&D game. Hello, Mythos. So yeah, super hype for Indomitus box. Price leak is 150 pounds, which I looked into further. That I believe is the exact same price as the Blood of the Phoenix box. Which, if that's true, that means it's going to be about $230 American. It's got a lot of figures in it, and you know I'm gonna talk about this because we're gonna quick segue to the Blood of the Phoenix box. The Blood of the Phoenix box, a lot of people were mad about how expensive that box was.
Because they considered the figures worthless, more or less.
Yeah. Now, you were a newer Eldar player and a newer Drukhari player. There's a lot of figures in that box. There isn't a single figure in that box you don't want, is there?
Yeah, no. That it was a lot of the figures that I wanted. Personally, for me,
plus some stuff you didn't even really think about. We're like, oh, that's cool. I'll take that happily, right?
like, I mean, I wanted a group of ink to buy. I wanted some Scourges because they're tank killers. I loved the Howling Banshee designs. Could have lived without Drazar, but he's really
Drazar, Master of Blades.
But he's really cool looking, so I'm really looking forward to being able to paint him. Jane Czar, again, I was actually looking forward to her because she is playable with the Ynnari detachment. And it has the gunship for the Eldar in there.
Yeah, that's their tank.
And Goblin Flyers. So a bunch of stuff that I personally didn't have, but I know are, from talking with other players, are very useful, especially because for the Drukhari, because they're so freaking quick, and those are flyers that are basically I drive and I fly and shoot at the same time.
Now you look at it per cost. That box is an incredible value for cost. I mean, we priced it out. I thought if you think, first off, we got a deal on the box as it was. We didn't have to pay the full $230. We found a reseller on Amazon and got it like 2 weeks later, and got it for I want to say I think it was like $175 or $180. We got a really deep discount on it. That being said, even at the $230,
it's still
at $230. If you priced them out individually, there was close to $400 to $450 worth of models in that box.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at it this way. Jane Czar, Drazar, the new Incubi, and the new Banshees, that's $200 just there. Just by themselves. That's $200 right there. So
one of the largest flying vehicles.
Yeah, you got the tank, which is normally like a $60 to $70 vehicle. There was there's a bunch. I mean, that's the thing. There's a huge amount of what in there. So for $230, even at the full $230,
it's a great buy.
It's a great buy
if you're a newer player who needs those units or one of those units to add to your thing. However, if you were an existing player, it was worthless.
Yeah, and we understood that. Now, at the same time, when the Sisters of Battle box came out, a lot of people were like, "Oh, that's so expensive," and my knee-jerk reaction was, "Yeah, these boxes are expensiver than they've been." But you know,
there's the rub.
There's still a price break. There's still a massive price break
because the price of the individual boxes themselves have actually gone up as well.
Yeah.
You stop and you think about it, and you're still doing the math. Yeah, but that's inflation. My dear friends, that's just what inflation does.
Now, admittedly, they've been, I don't want to say price gouging. I'm not going to say price gouging, but their prices have definitely gone up significantly in just the year we've been back in the hobby. I mean, I've seen at least 2 price hikes in the last year, specifically two price hikes. They just did one the 1st of June, and they did one about the same time last year. It's not like a $15 or $10 jump in a price, but $2.50, $3, $5 American jump. It's noticeable, and they didn't do
but it's still a difference.
And they didn't do it to the same units. It's not like the units went up in price one year and then went up in price the same year. They got 2 different groups in that unit. Yeah, it's a little, but
considering, well, show me a rich mini, collector, and I'll show you a fool.
Here's the thing: there are very few miniatures games that are miniatures melee or miniatures combat, games where the figures are cheap.
Not if you want nice ones.
Not if you want nice ones, exactly. If you want nice ones, they're not cheap.
Kingdom Death.
Kingdom Death, a box that comes with like 40 figures in the box. They're gorgeous. They're stunningly gorgeous. but the starter box is like $400. And if you want one of the boosters, one of the booster boxes comes with like 10 figures, and it's $120. Now, they've kept the prices on some of their figures a little lower. Acadians are still cheap. Orc Boys are still relatively cheap.
That one's just simple marketing.
Yeah, they're not gonna turn the armies that you need a million of to make them more expensive. There is Uncle Adam over at Tabletop Minions. I want to say 2 years ago or so, did a video on the economics of Games Workshop and why 2 boxes that have the same number of models in them are, and basically the same amount of stuff in them, are widely disparate in costs. And a lot of times it comes down to how many of them do you need for an army. I think the best example was a combination they showed of a group of Centurions and a box of Terminators. And at the time, a box of Wolf Terminators, so that was when he showed, were like $45. And the box of Centurions, which has 3 guys in it, was like $65. Well, when you buy Terminators, you're usually going to buy 2 or 3 units of them. Hello, Warmutt. You buy Centurions, most people, because they're so expensive, they buy 1 box of them. That's it. There's another even better example in Age of Sigmar. There's a Slaves to Darkness cavalry unit that's like,
Damien was just pointing out that Creature Caster is similar. You know, you're going to pay what you get for it, but because of the fact that each of those are...
Yeah. I mean, well, Creature Casters just...
They're not a mass-produced, and they're such a high-detailed figure, you obviously are going to get the cost of the molds.
There's a reason why a box of 10 Space Marines of the old-style Tactical Marines is $45. Yeah, that's $4.50 a Marine. Here's the funny thing. If you go over and look at, say, somebody like Reaper, the Bones figures are $3 a figure, and they're single-piece figures. You kind of get what you pay for.
Oh my.
Oh my goodness. Well, Mormont, our deepest thoughts are with you and your family. I hope everything...
I send good juju your way.
Hope all the juju goes well for you.
Yeah. You know, fingers crossed that even though they test positive, they don't actually come down with it.
Yeah. And you know, again, that's the thing. You look at like armies. Yeah, back in the day, guys would drop like, you know, $200 and buy an entire army in one spot, and that was a lot then. Nowadays, you spend $90 to $100 on a single start collecting box, and that's enough to get like a small patrol detachment put together. Yeah, and that's the thing. Things about Bones, yeah, they're a little cheaper, but the quality can be really hit or miss on those. There are some Bones figures that I got for my Zombie Apocalypse game that basically they got splashed in paint, they got dunked in a wash and put on a base, and they were done because there really wasn't a lot I could do for them. So yeah, I guess the perfect example for Tau. Well, I can tell you this. I remember back in the day when I bought the very first box, which is the 2nd edition starter box. It came with 20 orcs, 40 Gretchen, and 20 Marines. The rule book was Thin rule book. I mean, it's good stuff, but back in the day, but that was like 100. I want to say it was like $100 at the time, and that was 30 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely with the bones. So, so, these prices are going to be up. But on the other hand, like, perfect example, Fabius Bile, segueing into our next topic.
Yeah.
I want to buy him. I want to get him. I want to get him. He's only $4. Most other HQs have been 45 lately, and he's only 40, and he comes with a second figure in his box. So I'm going to probably get him when this one gets your paycheck on Friday.
Oh, speaking of that, I need to.
So let's, now that we're into our new topic, and Dominus good, the Necrons, a real quick thing, the Necrons in the box are freaking fabulous. Plague Child's really looking forward to them. If I was a Necrons player, I'd be all at Twitter. I know Heinrich Baffa in my Discord is all beside himself, and he deserves to be. They're so awesome figures. So, and all the stuff they've revealed on them looks really good too. So, there it is. And use the black stuff. Use the green stuff for the black. So, or use the Army Painter black.
Hold on, I gotta find it. Here we go.
So, War of the Spider.
Oh, yeah. We were having a discussion about this earlier today. Actually.
I'm so excited. Okay,
you
first,
just can't hide it.
Well, here's the thing. I was excited for War of the Phoenix or Blood of the Phoenix because it was going to give her a lot more stuff to work in for her army. And then a couple more books came out. I'm like, well, these are good. These will help some people's armies. These will help some people's armies. And then Greater Good came out, and I'm like, oh, cool. This will be really great for my Imperial Guard army. And I admit, I look at books like, how are they going to affect my army? And I look at the stuff they did for the Imperial Guard, and honestly, the only thing they really did in that book that really helps me out is tank aces. I love the tank aces rule. But for the most part, my list and my tactics and my units didn't change. I'm playing Cadians. I have a couple tank aces, but that's about it. Or I have a tank ace, but that's really about it. I mean, nothing else really changes. Saga the Beast comes out.
At first, he was.
Well, here's the thing.
And then he saw what was in the box.
No. But the Saga of the Beast, not the Prophecy of the Wolf. The Saga of the Beast, the book. The book. I so hyped for the book. So hyped for the book. So hyped for the book. Absolutely hyped for the book. And the book is amazing. I actually pretty much go through it at least once a week, looking up specific rules while I'm trying to mess around with ideas for units. So I'm super excited about. I was super excited about it. Plus, my orc boys loved it. The box set is a great box set. It wasn't what I wanted, but it was a great box set. I don't play Goths, and Gazkul doesn't really do anything for my army. So yeah, whatever. It's fine. I have a much more mobile. My orcs are very much a mobile, fast swing through, swing by, keep going. So I play them differently than other types of units, and that's okay. Reiterating, it was a good box. It's a great book. And then the Engine War came out, and I kind of read through it because I have knights, and I mean, it's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I think I definitely think the Mechanicus got definitely they got a lot out of that book, but mainly because they just got a ton of new units. I mean, just a ton of new units. So, good for them. I mean, that's fine. If you play Mechanicus, I don't want to take anything away from anybody. I want to give everybody everything they want. So there you go. So that's great. And now we're looking at War the Spider. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you on that one, Mythos. He really is. I don't disagree with you. He is a gorgeous model, and he is an incredible beat stick. He can take an incredible amount of punishment. But for my specific list and the way I play my Death Skulls, he does nothing for me. He literally does nothing for me. My list is flexible, but he doesn't do anything for me, and he's a lot of points to spend on something that doesn't really fit with what the rest of my army does.
It doesn't fit the narrative.
Yeah, a lot of it is he just doesn't fit the narrative of my army, and that's the biggest thing. It really does come down to my orcs have a very definite narrative behind them, and it just doesn't fit their narrative. So, like I said, he's a lovely figure. At some point, I'll probably pick him up and paint him because I think he's he's an awesome figure. And maybe some point deep in the future, I'll build a detachment of Goths to go in my Death Skulls, just like at some point I want to build a detachment of Bad Moons. But Death Skulls, because we're lucky. But like I said, War of the Spider, and I'm looking at it. Now, here's the thing. I have been working on a conceptual chaos list for about 6 months. Basically since Shadow Spear, actually. So it's even longer than that, probably close to a year. Since I bought my box of Shadow Spear, I have been working on a conceptual chaos list that I wanted to do. And I had been waffling on this list because I've always been a big fan of Emperor's Children, but I really like the flavor behind the Red Corsairs. But I really like the Emperor's Children, but I like the Red Corsairs. And now Fabulous Bill has his own thing because he's not really with the Emperor's Children anymore. He's just doing his own thing.
Emperor's Children.
And honestly, I'm still of the opinion that if you're gonna do evil, you gotta do it right. Abaddon is a loser. 13 Crusades, he's gotten nothing done. He finally broke Cadia, but not really. It's still being used. The man has lost everything he has done. He is terrible. He is awful. He's a terrible leader. He's a terrible administrator, and he's just not good at what he does. The leader of the Red Corsairs is one of the newest leaders among the Chaos chapters, and yet he is next to Abaddon the most powerful because he is such a good tactician, and he has a plan, and he succeeds in what he does. He consistently raids. He consistently grabs resources. He consistently recruits regular Marines to join. Oh, just spilled my snake bite leather. Oh, I wish I could say I've never done that. I wish she could say, or she wishes she could.
I will freaking hurt you if you finish that sentence.
I'm just saying, you wish.
I will hurt you if you finish that sentence.
Okay. We won't talk about the Flesh Tears red or the Blood Angels red that got spilled. Not at all. We'll talk about my bottle of Warp Lightning that I dropped. that I spilled. We won't talk about the 2 bottles of gnome oil. 1 bottle of Agrax Earthshade. I hate their bottle design. It's not anybody's fault. I did buy her the rubber thing, though. You really should put the rubber. You should get the rubber triangle and put it on the bottom of your bottles because the design is terrible and they smell. I'm just being honest. That's why I bought it for you.
It's currently holding a bunch of my bits.
Yeah, she currently uses it as a bits tray. Yeah, and until you spill a bottle of paint, though, until you spill it, you're not a real GW painter.
Okay, so I guess I'm fucking rocking one now.
But here's the thing, yeah, the leader of the Red Corsairs, he's, and that's the reason why Abaddon doesn't like him or trust him, because he's so new. But he's really good, and that's one of the reasons I like him. If I was to play any other faction, I had been playing with the idea of playing the Word Bearers, because if you're going to do evil, let's just do it from the get-go. Let's play the bad guys. And the Word Bearers are pretty much, they're the reason everything went to crap in the Imperium.
But if you want to play true evil... I mean...
real evil.
You want to just be a monster.
You play Fabius Bile, and you play the Legions of Bile. Fabius Bile, in his first book, at one point is walking through his laboratory, and he has a vial that he has a demon's soul stoppered up in, and he can feel the demon's fear as he walks by. Ethereal beings in the material world.
That's not, it wasn't just a demon, it was a greater demon that was afraid of him.
When you're a leader among chaos, and yet you don't bow, you're not demon infused, you're not a demon primarch, you're not a demon prince, you're the fleshcrafter. You're the man that created basically all of the tools that chaos has to make demon engines, to make more Marines, to continue this war. And you are continuously trying to perfect these things. You have cloned Primarchs.
Both successfully and unsuccessfully.
Next to Call, there is nobody smarter, more knowledgeable about Earth-based technology than Fabius Bile. And he doesn't care what you think of him.
He knows he's a monster. He rejoices in it.
And that, I think, is the biggest difference. And that's why I think if I do my Chaos unit, I'm going to do them as Bile. I'm going to do them as Agents of Bile, because he really is. I mean, I've gone back and I've read some of his fiction recently, and this is a guy that is just, he looks at monsters and laughs because they pale in comparison to the evil, the actual just depraved evil that he is. In a grim, dark setting, to be the guy that is the marker for the deep end of the pool, the guy that's kind of scarier than, say, I don't know, the demon Primarchs they've put on the table so far, the guy that's scarier than the greater demons or the demon princes you can put on the table, a guy that is feared universally,
and he's
just a guy. He's just a space marine. Nothing about him. Nothing. He's a 10,000-year-old space marine. because he's been around since the early days.
What's interesting about him is that what kind of a monster do you think a person would have to be to know that you have Mortarion who has sent his Death Guard, specifically his favored unit, the 7th Company, his chosen sons, to Cadia to hunt this man down? And not only that, to the point of what kind of a man could this person possibly be that the Death Guard are willing to form a ceasefire and temporary truce with Custodes?
Well, we haven't seen the book yet to know of that. It's what the art makes it look like they are. We haven't seen the fiction yet.
And some of the comments that the designers and creators have actually stated in that regard is that they're both there looking for him, and he is priority. If the two sides decide to scrap with one another, they're going to stop and scrap with one another. However, they're more concerned about getting their hands on Bile.
And that's another interesting point. The Custodes don't leave Terra. They really don't. I mean, it takes something special for them to leave Terra. And they're on Cadia hunting down Fabulous Bill. I can't wait to see this book. Now, you go along with this book where there's lore and fiction and all that loveliness, new stats for Fab and his new troops, which there's been the new agents of Bile, which there are some new stats and some new rules on. Yeah, I mean, that really is. He's not cartoony. I mean, honestly, Abaddon comes off like, I'll get you next time, Powerpuff Girls. I mean, he's just...
Mojo Jojo.
Yeah, I mean, he just comes off like this big, goofy, I'll get you next time.
I am Mojo Jojo, the most Mojo Jojo ever.
Yeah, and Bile's just like,
fuck you.
I don't care about what you guys doing. I got my own agenda. When I'm doing my thing, just don't get in my way. I don't care. He's not acting against anybody. He's just acting for his own means. And I think that's a big difference. He has an agenda, and that's the only thing he cares about. He doesn't care about conquering Terra. He doesn't care about reconquering the galaxy. He doesn't care about toppling the Empire. He wants to understand the completeness of flesh, to be able to manipulate, to make himself onto the Emperor.
Which is terrifying in and of itself.
Yeah. So, yeah, I love Fabulous Bill. Fabius Bile is absolutely a lovely guy, and he reminds me of some of the villains I've written in a couple of my novels, because he's that kind of evil. He's the kind of evil I want to read about. He's got a new book coming out. And
it's coming from the man who had to set down one of Bile's books because the description of what Bile had done to create the Bat Chambers, to create better Marines, disgusted him.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't prepared for mainstream media to do some of the stuff that I had done in some alt fiction I had written. It was kind of terrifying to see. So,
like, holy crap! Somebody thinks like I do.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a problem.
That's not good. I mean, it's good, but it's not good. So yeah. So the World of Spiders got all the new rules for Fabulous Bill and his faction, which is great. It's also got all new rules and additional rules for my new unit, the Custodes and the Sisters of Silence, finally making them usable again. They've basically spent all of all of 8th hiding on the shelf going, I don't know how to be used. They're going to have solid rules for using them. And they've inferred that with these new rules, you'll be able to use the Sisters of Silence with Astartes, Space Marines, without breaking the Space Marine rule of, combat doctrines and litanies. So I'm waiting to see if that's actually complete. But I mean, they talk about right on their website. They talk about using them with the Space Wolves to replay the burning of Prospero, because that's who supported the Wolves when they went to Prospero to burn things. It was the Sisters of Silence. Rob, my man, good to see you.
Hello.
And additionally, in this book, the Death Guard are getting all their goodies. Oh my God! This is like somebody went and looked at me and went, you know what, Big
They
D.
looked at his Christmas list.
Somebody looked at me and went, Big D, we're sorry about Prophecy of the Wolf. Here's a book for you. For you. So I'm super excited about getting this book. I can't wait to see all the goodies my Death Guard are going to get. I'm super hype about my Death Guard. What?
Is it done?
No.
What the hell are you building back there? Never mind. Don't tell me.
Okay.
I don't want to know.
You don't want to know. Yeah, I mean, War of the Spider is going to be great. And yet there's one more Psychic Awakening book coming after it even. Oh, I should also point out that in the War of the Spider, Assassins are getting some new rules too. I hate Imperial Assassins. I want to say it. I want to say it just to be honest and straight up. I hate Imperial Assassins.
We got the cheesecake STLs.
Yeah. But I mean, the actual playability of them, I think they're broken. I think they're underpriced and they're overly powerful. I think they're ridiculously overpowerful and underpriced for what they do. They're just ridiculous. There's one of them that I really, really hate incredibly because it gets to ignore invulnerability saves.
Is that the sniper?
Yeah, the sniper one. It can ignore invulnerability saves, just deals mortal wounds. There's a 2-up, 3-up, 4-up, 5. It just starts rolling dice. It just what, and then if you try to attack it back, no matter what you're attacking with, you need 6s to hit and 6s to wound. It's just stupid. It's like, hi, I can't be hurt, la la la. So I think they're overpowered and they're kind of broken. So that's me.
Shut up.
But they're coming. They're going to be in that book as well. And then after that book, the next one coming up after that will be Pariah, which will apparently have new rules for the Inquisition. New rules for the Inquisition and all the new Necron stuff.
Necron!
Very excited about that. Yeah, you know, Rob, with as awesome a painter as you are,
oh Lord,
I would love to see what you do with Death. I would love to see what you do with Death Guard. I'd love to see. I mean, because the thing is, the beauty about them is that they actually, you know, everybody thinks I'm just green with flesh sticking out of them, but there's so many different variations on how to paint Death Guard. Like their original colors were actually white. They originally started off in white with a little bit of tinge of green armor, but they were, you know, their main color was white and gold. Like one of their companies still uses that color.
I think that's the 7.
I hope Assassins don't interrupt Doctrine bonuses in the future. I just wish they didn't make them as freaking OP as they are. You would paint them white. Yeah, I kind of figured you might.
That sounds like fun. I can't wait to see what you would do with them, Rob.
I'd love to see what you do, man. I really would. The thing is, the reason I don't like the Assassins, honestly, I think at 75 points for a single figure, and what they do for those points, I don't think they're really. I don't think they're balanced. I think they're incredibly unbalanced. And I've seen them in play, and with the doctrines, not doctrines, the tactics and the stratagems you can use with them. Like the guy I was playing the last time I played with somebody using him, he had the sniper guy, and if he kills a character, he gets a command point back. And unless it's the warlord, then he gets 2 back. and he can do other things by killing things to refund command points. And the problem is that he's got so much range, and because he's a character, he can stick him in places can't actually get to him. It was like they're almost freaking impossible to kill to begin with. And it just, I don't know. I really couldn't. I really don't like the assassins. I don't like any of the assassins. I think the sniper honestly is the worst of them. But I don't like them. I just think they're overbalanced. I think they need to do something to work them out so they're a little bit more balanced. Especially like the best with the sniper one that lets you can't shoot it back except hitting it on 6s, and you only wound on 6s or something. It's ridiculous. It's just for 75 points, and it basically deletes characters off the board. It's like, hi, I'm just going to delete any HQs off the board. So, yeah, I don't like them.
Control Z.
Yeah, and they're basically, I put them down and I delete key parts of your army, and there's really nothing you can do about it. If you put them out of line, in a line of sight at all anywhere on the board, I'm going to shoot them and kill them. And there's nothing you can do about it. Only because I had Death Guard was able to survive it, because my ability to shrug off wounds, the disgustingly resilient, kicked in. But that was the only reason I was able to sustain myself against that thing. I mean, it was just stupid. Ugh.
On a separate note,
all right. So
did you by chance open your box? And did you guys make that recording? Because I really, 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 really want to see your guys' reactions.
Less broken than a riptide.
What's a riptide?
It's a towel thing that he cries over. I cry over assassins. He cries over riptides.
That's because.
Really? A riptide's 275 points. An assassin's 75 points. I can shoot a riptide from across the board. I can't shoot that assassin.
Assassin versus Tau. Let's see who's cheaper.
Yeah.
Cheatier.
But the problem is assassins go into another army. And that was the thing. I got to admit, the beautiful thing about it was...
Versus.
Well, that's the whole thing. The beautiful thing about it was the assassins go into an army. He was playing Imperial Guard. So...
Anzo?
No, the guy that wears the Russian hat.
Ah.
The guy with the Baneblade. Baneblade! And he was shocked that I didn't go after his Baneblade. I just killed everything else on the board. And within like 2 rounds, he had nothing left. That was pretty cool.
He was like, hold up, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's like, screw your Baneblade. I don't care about that. I'll kill everything else, and then you can't score points. Okay, so moving on. I'm like, War of the Spider. War of the Spider is really exciting. I'm excited for that to come out. I'm excited for those figures. I'm excited for that book. I can't wait to see the rules on that. So I think that's pretty much all we've got on the What's Up list. So we got a half hour left. I think we're going to take a moment here. First off, just kind of say a quick hi to everybody in the list. We got 8 people in the chat right now. Been a lot of drama lately. And I have pretty much stayed out of it. I've talked about it with certain people in Discord and whatnot, and there's a lot going on right now in the world, and I don't want to talk about that. What I do want to talk about is how it relates to the gaming community.
I promise I won't let him get on the soapbox too long.
I'm going to spend 5 minutes on it just to have a quick statement on it. About 2 weeks ago, Warhammer community put out a post basically talking about how Warhammer is about coming together and playing. It's about coming together and being good with each other, and it's about having fun. Their settings are grim, dark, and horrible, but they do not believe that that is the way the world should be. That is the fictional setting that they put their games in, and they are meant to be nothing more than that. They want to create and establish a inclusive, open, warm, and inviting game setting. And anyone who believes in that and believes in the same values that they are espousing there, that they believe in peace and equality and the sharing of the experience, that they want those people to stay, and they want those people to help keep sharing that experience and talk about how lovely and fun this game is and how great this community can be. And if those of you that don't agree with those values, to quote them, you will not be missed.
Now,
this caused a lot of drama because even though they didn't name anybody, they didn't point fingers at anybody, there were a number of YouTubers, a number of big YouTubers that self-identified themselves as being targeted or decided to take a huge issue with why would you exclude people, Warhammer? You can't have a tolerant society if you're intolerant of anything, can you? Blah blah blah. A bunch of head nominals.
we are not going
And
to
I'm
go
not
into this.
and I'm not going to go into it. I don't need to. Brent from Goobertown Hobbies this past weekend put up a video called Social Justice and Warhammer. And all I'm going to say on the topic, if you want to know how I feel, if you want to understand the way I want to run my channel and how I want to run my live chats, go to Goobertown Hobbies, look up the video, Social Justice and Warhammer, and watch it. It's a 55-minute watch. It is long, but it is poignant, it is intelligent, and it is well thought out.
Here at the Gamecraft Dragon, we believe in inclusivity and being inclusive, and we believe in diversity. Your views are yours, and your opinions are yours. However, here at the Gamecraft Dragon, anything that promotes hate or excluding people for any reason at all, we do not condone or support. That being said, he's been wanting to say something about this, and I've been kind of like him, trying to stay out of the whole thing, because some people have, like Brent, have put it very eloquently. While I may not agree with all of his points, he hit a lot of points that I do very much agree with, but there again, we hit my personal fields. Not going into it, we are not a political channel. We are just stating that, we respect everyone unless you give us a reason not to respect you. We include everyone unless you give us a reason not to.
It comes down to very simple.
Don't be a dick.
Treating people with equality, treating people fairly, treating people equally is not politics. It's not politics. It's general human decency.
That's all we ask of our
That's all we ask. So this is the absolutely only statement we're going to make on this. If you want to understand how I feel, if you want to understand my stance on this whole thing, go to his channel, watch that video. Other than that, we're not going to talk about it ever again unless somebody tries to come in here and start some crap. It's that simple.
So, that being said,
Mythos, you and I have some of the same views. You've had some bad experiences with Tau, and because of the bad experiences you have with Tau, they definitely skew your view.
I'd like to point out, for me, it's Grey Knights.
I cannot say otherwise because I've had nothing but horrible experiences with armies that involved assassins. They've just been absolutely unkillable delete monsters on the board. So everything is defined by experience. she played Grey Knights and they absolutely deleted her off the board. So she was just like, that's not even fair. So
I will say that because of them, I have yet to actually play Kill Team with my witches since. I admit I am very leery about playing my witches again because of that experience. Ben, if you're watching this, I still love you.
But I can say I've killed Riptide with my death card.
When did you ever fight the tower?
One of the days I was over at the store. Somebody pulled out. We played a quick battle, and he put his Riptide down. I'm like, okay, and I just deleted it. So,
is this the new phrase? Delete.
Yes. Burn the Xenos. I'm all with you though. Burn the Xenos. Burn the Xenos. So.
It's coming from the man who has more Xeno and heretical than he does.
No, I do not.
You have Death Guard. You have Orc. That's 2 to your 1.5 Imperial.
My 2.5 Imperial. Space Wolves. Imperial Guard. Custodes.
I'm sorry. Vulcan lives!
Yes, Commodore, you're the only bad Tau player.
I bet you'd win against me. What are you doing Saturday? Oh, wait, I work Saturday.
You work Saturday.
Damn. How about Friday? What do you guys do on Friday?
Change company because I'll be gone.
I work Saturday, so I guess we're okay on that.
And my knights. My knights aren't even enough for an army. And I could run 1,000 points worth of knights, and that's it. So I could run a small battle with my knights.
Speaking of Vulcan, I have started on my company commander / chapter master for my Emerald Aegeus Salamander offshoot. I'm very happy. Slight kit bashing needs to go into her, such as I need a head. I would love to hang out Saturday.
She's working though.
I work from 3 to 7:30.
Maybe Sunday.
We'll see what my schedule is.
Yeah.
That gives me plenty of time to finish painting, to do a quick paint up of something more else.
So yeah. Salamanders. Yes, exactly.
Except for this first company is mostly made up of a squad of veterans. And then, Father's Day.
So I guess we're playing.
Are we recording or live streaming?
I don't know. But we're playing.
Well, let's see what I'm doing.
Father's Day.
Saturday's the solstice.
Yeah. All right. And I appear to have upset at least one person. That no, we don't know if we're gonna play Kill Team or a 500-point game. We're gonna play something. We'll play something.
Do I have 500 points?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to sit down and look.
I know I don't have my I need to.
We'll have to sit down and see what you got. Maybe we'll play Age of Sigmar.
I don't have enough for Age of Sigmar, I don't think.
Oh, you got plenty of the Age of Sigmar.
So, eat it.
Who would I piss off now?
Who you piss off? That's what he wants to know.
I probably, again, I try to keep politics out of the channel, but I probably said something that may have offended somebody, and you know what? That's fine. I'm not going to tell anybody how to think. That's the first thing. People think for themselves. I have my beliefs, and that's it. That's all there is to it. I'm willing to happily discuss them without it turning into an argument with certain people, as certain people have seen recently. I can have a discussion with people with very different beliefs than I do and have a very constructive and open discourse. because I know how to talk. Fortunately, a lot of people don't. All right, so let's see. We are down to the last 20 minutes of the show. Going forward. Okay, 9th edition, going forward. We're liking the terrain rules. I actually like the board size rules. The more I look at the board size rules, the more I look at the terrain rules. What I've seen, I'm really digging them. It's why I've kind of got reinvigorated creating wolves and working on some Death Guard stuff. I'm really looking forward to 9th. I think it's going to be a great shot in the arm. I think for the people that there's a number of people that I know that I enjoy playing with or enjoy hanging out with, that one of their only complaints about 8th was the fact that the rules were very simplistic. Exactly.
Now, moving on.
Yeah. There are a lot of people that I shouldn't say a lot. There is a group of people that I know that their biggest complaint about 8th was that it was too simplified. Yeah, the 3,000 point board size does seem a little weird to me, because I mean it really means that we're going to have to cap games at 2,000 points, because I can't add another 2 feet of board, or not even 2 feet, 1.5 feet. So if you're playing over 2,000 points, you need a 7.5 foot long table. That is weird. That is straight up just bizarre. So I'm going to be capped out at 2,000 points. I think that's going to be the biggest game we're going to play. It's definitely the biggest game I'm going to be able to play on my table here, unless we have an agreement to, we're going to play 3,000 points. We're going to play on the standard 6x4, whatever. I don't care. But I like the new board size rules. Going back to what I was saying, is that I think what it comes down to is you're going to see a lot more 2,000 point. I think you're going to see a lot more 1,000 point games too. I think you're going to see a lot. Across game size. Because again, perfect example is you look at Necrons. Necrons at the 2,000 point level just get destroyed. But you play them at the 500, 1,000 point level, and they're actually super competitive. So I think.
Okay, so I gotta turn to So Flight of the Phoenix says, "Get a bigger house." Such an appropriate comment coming out of the real estate agent. We're working on it, honey.
Yeah.
Commodore says it's going to be interesting to see what the GW shops do now. Minnie Warmutt says, "Hey, at Alex Drake, the snakebite leather contrast works great for leather seats until you spill it all over the bench."
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if they're going to have a ton more terrain, but they're going to have a definite. They're saying that 9th edition is going to have rules for how much terrain you're supposed to have. Like, there's going to be a set amount of, again, a minimum amount of terrain you need to have on the table. Just like the minimum board size, I think they're going to have a minimum terrain requirement for boards. So I think that's cool. I think that's a cool idea. If anybody wants to see how I think a table should generally be played, if you ever go over to Winter's SEO and you see the way he sets up his narrative tables, if you ever see one of his boards where he just kind of goes all out for his games, $10 bottle of glue.
Try plastic cement
I think
and a box of minis. Mm-hmm. I see you both and I up you both.
That's what he's talking about, though. He just put it on his bench, though, which is bad because you can't get that stuff up real easily. But yeah,
I lost 10 witches and a succubus.
Well, 7 witches. We still have 3 left over. You actually still had the rest of them. They were just kind of in the unassembled form.
No, they weren't even unassembled. They were a bottle of plastic body parts.
And she wouldn't let me use them for Nurgle terrain. I was like, yeah.
I didn't think about it until after I threw it out, in all honesty.
I was like, oh my God, that would have been awesome. I just put this puddle down and put it in a piece of terrain. It's like, wow.
And I would have allowed it had you thought of it before they were thrown away. It was a while ago. It was a while ago.
Does any company make table mats that roll out and already have equipped with rolling hills? Which group? Great base.
Idea. Does any company?
The problem is that
I guess they got napalm.
yeah.
Did they melt? Yes, they did.
They were just a pile of goo. Here's the thing. The reason the rolling up a mat that already has terrain in it, how would you do the heights? Unless you say there's heights on there. But here's the problem. I've seen that, and in a game that uses direct measurement, it doesn't work. Now, the flip side is there's an old tabletop war game called BattleTech, and their boards were hex-based. So, and each hex had its elevation on it. So if you had an elevation hex in between you, if you try to draw a straight line to a guy you're shooting, and you had to go through an elevation hex that was higher than you, then you couldn't shoot them. So that would work if you had something that had like grids and stuff on it. But if you're dealing with straight terrain, you need to put terrain down. Now, on the other hand, yeah, there's a bunch up there. On the other hand, I mean,
is this right?
For plastic, not for. Not for
I'm just making sure.
I mean, for hills are easy to make. The biggest thing is when you have a lot of terrain, you need a quick way to store it. Or you need an easy way to store it, which is why we built the table with a bunch of storage bins underneath so we can keep all the terrain under the table.
What the hell is this?
It's porridge. It's texture paste.
Oh, okay. I was like, what did you forget about underneath the table? Because otherwise I'm throwing that damn thing away.
No, it's texture paste.
Okay.
No, texture paste. So I've seen some terrain lately that a company makes that's so kind of. So yeah, I mean that's the thing. The way I keep looking at it is that they wouldn't have had 90% of the Indomitus box for the Marines be melee guys if melee sucked. So give Lily a big hug for us, and we'll see you soon. Run, Mythos, run! Bribe her with plastic. It doesn't work for her. Gotta get my wife. I give you plastic. Now be nice to me. I get you resin. See? Look at the resin next to you there.
You know what?
What?
Food also works.
Yeah, I know. That's true.
He can go down the corner, go to the corner, get me custard, and come back, and I'm like, okay, I love you forever.
She's cheap. $2 ice cream bar.
We'll smack the living crap out of you.
I'm super optimistic. I'm super optimistic about 9th edition. Sisters Repentia and Crusaders, yes. Like I said, I'm excited. I'm really excited about my wolves. I keep re-looking at their rules. The assault doctrine. When they're in assault doctrine, every time they roll a 6 in melee, they get a free hit. I get a lot of attacks, and when I'm in assault doctrine, I get a -1 AP with my pistols and my melee weapons. Well, everyone does, but if not, you can go 32s. The whole idea of being able to go and throw my my Sky Claws or my they suddenly make Reavers a whole lot better. The pistol knife Reaver Wolf in Assault Doctrine suddenly becomes a monster on the field. A unit of 5 starts off with 18 attacks. No. 4 times 3, which is 12, plus 4. Okay, 16. 16 attacks. Now, if I charge as a wolf, as a Marine, I get an extra attack. So 21 attacks, hitting on 2s. 21 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 4, -1 AP, and 6s generate an extra hit. This is a win-win-win situation.
I still fit that size.
Oh yeah, and I completely agree with Steve-O. I'm actually stacking up on 8-man Scorches with or 8-man Burnaboys with a Spana with them, so that for 1 CP I can make that a the smart Spana, and an 8-man Luda squad with a smart Spana. I mean, I'm really looking at the new rules, especially with what came out of between the Saga of the Beast and the stuff they're talking about for 9th edition. This is going to be a great edition. I think I've yet to hear anything negative about it from what I've seen. I've yet to see any real complaints other than you're adding so many extra rules. People complain that there weren't enough rules and the game has become too simplistic from 7th to 8th. 7th edition is unwieldy to me. I want to play 30K with a bunch of friends of mine, and that's basically 7th edition rules. I can't wrap my head around some of the rules on that thing. I'm just like, what is this? What do you mean? What are you looking for? 25 millimeters?
Very specific.
There's an entire bag of them in there. If you give me a minute,
but the problem is I need the damn slots.
Okay, well then give me a minute.
And the problem is these ones are just too small, and I can see a whole bunch of the ones that are big enough that you went and filled in the damn slots.
How are those too small? That's the size of the slot.
No, it's actually not. Because their rim makes it slightly smaller. I don't know. I'll keep messing around.
Give me a minute and let me finish.
Screen. I'm happy with what
You could also clip off a little tiny bit of the tab. Yeah, you can clip off a tiny bit of the tab.
In her case, I couldn't because they go straight to the edge of her feet.
Okay, clip it in an angle.
Finish your show.
Oh, my show now.
Yes. Finish your show.
Get out.
All right. I will.
In a minute.
Put some lighting on here.
All right, buddies. So we are coming to the end of our show. So final thoughts. What are you thinking? What do you think?
Don't try and use the blade on your
leg. Your leg instead of a cutting mat in front of you. All right, my thoughts. 7th edition was complicated. 8th edition may have been too simple. I think 9th edition is going to be awesome. And I think we all just need to be positive about upcoming changes and just kind of accept it and move forward, and we'll all have a good time with this edition. 6 months into this edition, we won't even remember that. We won't even think about, oh, it's so complicated. It'll just be the way it is.
My parting thoughts are my salamander are going to look amazing when we get that box.
Well, I mean, my wolves will. I don't know about your salamanders.
No, my salamanders.
All right, then. You keep thinking that.
I know that.
All right, then.
So that's my parting thought.
All right.
My salamanders.
All right. So that being said, you lovely people, you people in my in my chat here. We're going to quick give our shout outs to our wonderful Patreon members. Starting off, we have our Battle Brother level members.
We have Inquisitor Zane,
who is
suspiciously absent.
weirdly MIA the last couple of weeks, both from chat and from the Discord. So if you're seeing this, Zane, we're worried about you. We hope you're okay. We also want to give a big shout out to my man, the Mini War Mutt. Thank you so much. We've got our two battle leader level members. We have Heinrich, the
Lord of Bacon,
Botha, and my man, Joe Bookman Bookish.
who's also been surprised.
And surprisingly, he's not been around much either. So again, hope you're doing okay too, buddy. Haven't seen you in a bit. We also have our three warlord tier guys. We have
The true master of models.
Alex Drake, my brother, the man, the myth, the legend, Master Modeler. We have from high up in orbit, piloting the phalanx,
making sure that we all stay good little heretical boys and girls. We have the Commodore.
Shine that head, man. Shine that head. And lastly, we have,
but not least, of course,
the Smash Captain, the ultimate Smash Captain, the man, the myth, the legend, the man who got me a copy of Ragnar that is in my box, primed and ready to be painted, James Meeks.
You did send off his.
Yes, I did. Went right by the Brown Deer post office today. I even sent him the letter, the confirmation.
Sweet.
So I want to thank all of you for being with us. I want everyone to, if you could, ring that bell, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed,
you know that we're not completely out.
Yeah, we're doing something good here. That like button really helps us out. It really, really does. It lets YouTube show us to more people, lets them know that we're doing something here, so that we get more people to watch this and potentially can bring our message to more people.
Don't be a dick. The Tower evil.
The Tower not evil. The Tower here to help you. The Tower the greater good. The Tower love you.
So does Grandpapa Nurgle.
And he loves you even more. He wants to give you gifts. So, all right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for being with us tonight. Again, I'm Big D.
I'm Lady Dragon.
We are the Gamecraft Dragons.
Lick the like. Yes, own that like.
Lick that like. Make it yours. Touch it. Touch it. Make it love you.
Okay, that was like officially creeptastic.
Now remember, everyone, when you're not trying to creep out the people around you,
don't be a dick.
Don't be a jerk. Epic your game, epic your board, and epic your life. Game on, my friends. Thank you so much, and have an excellent week.
I only like Hortense.
My brother, the window licker. I love you, man.
Chris, quick, get the code of shame. Goobertown rocks!